IrvinDYalom, Staring at the Sun, Overcoming the Terror of Death. In his Staring at the Sun, Overcoming the Terror of Death, IrvinDYalom dives into the profound yet universal fear of mortality, encouraging a confrontation rather than avoidance of this inevitable aspect of life. This summary unpacks the varying degrees of death anxiety, from overt panic to covert dread that subtly infiltrates our thoughts and actions. Through compelling stories and psychological insights, readers will discover how closely examining death anxiety can lead to a richer, purpose-driven life. Drawing from existential philosophy and real-life therapy sessions, Yalom highlights paths toward embracing mortality, cultivating authentic connections, and finding profound meaning amidst the finite nature of our existence. Engage with this exploration of life's ultimate certainty to uncover how acknowledging impermanence might just be the key to truly living.
Facing death anxiety. Death anxiety emerges in many forms, reshaping how individuals perceive their lives when confronted with their inevitable mortality. It often manifests in stark, conscious fear, as it did for Mary when she realized that her eventual death was not a distant hypothetical, but an inescapable reality. Her brush with overt death anxiety flooded her with the awareness that she, in her current form, would face this end. Such realizations can trigger profound fear and contemplation of mortality. Yet, not everyone experiences death anxiety so overtly. For Susan, a middle-aged accountant, her confrontation with mortality was indirect. When her son was arrested, Susan couldn't process the event as just another of her son's struggles with addiction. Instead, his situation consumed her, manifesting in intense emotional and physical decline. This was covert death anxiety, where her fears about death seeped into her reaction to her son's plight. Susan's dependency on her son's future success as an extension of her life's purpose had left her vulnerable. His difficulties became a mirror reflecting her own unacknowledged fears about mortality, especially as she neared a milestone birthday. Through therapy, Susan began to unravel the deep-seated anxieties tying her identity to her son. Her therapist helped her see that addressing her own life, rather than focusing solely on external legacies, could be liberating. With guidance, Susan started to reallocate her energies toward personal fulfillment, engaging with the present rather than anchoring her sense of worth on her son's future. Both Mary's and Susan's experiences reveal that death anxiety may take root differently across individuals. Often, it can be masked by everyday stressors like career panic, obsessions with aging symptoms, or compulsive behaviors such as hoarding. These are attempts to exert control over life's uncertain transitions. Importantly, whether overt or latent, confronting death anxiety is an inevitable part of the human experience. It's a fear we must all face and learn to navigate. The key lies in recognizing these anxieties and choosing to build a life rooted in the present, rather than preoccupied with what lies beyond. As we grapple with the existential truth that life will end, we open doors to live more genuinely and meaningfully. The journey forward demands courage, mindfulness, and therapy, if necessary, to reshape our approach to life, creating a richer narrative for ourselves in the here and now. Embrace mortality, embrace life. Facing the reality of death, while initially daunting, can provide a profound shift in how we perceive our own lives. Instead of letting death anxiety freeze us, embracing mortality can clarify our sense of purpose and free us from life's trivialities. Take Julia, a psychologist who found herself paralyzed by fear after losing a dear friend. Her anxiety led her to abandon her artistic passions, which she blamed on a need for financial stability, a facade to mask her deeper fears of failing as an artist. It wasn't truly about money. It was about the fear of inadequacy and losing ground with her husband, who shared her competitive nature. Realizing this allowed Julia to rediscover fulfillment through her art, independent of societal measures of success. Similarly, James faced a different challenge when he lost his brother at a young age. The trauma of not mourning visibly at the funeral repressed his feelings and drove him into a career he despised and a growing problem with alcohol. His fascination with the paranormal became a surrogate for closure, trying to imbue his life with a misplaced sense of meaning. It was only when James confronted the pain and loss head-on that he found clarity. This acceptance spurred a bold career change, training seeing-eye dogs, which allowed him to connect with others meaningfully. Both Julia and James illustrate how confronting death anxiety can initially feel paralyzing but ultimately serve as a powerful catalyst for positive transformation. The key is not to shy away from the discomfort these thoughts bring, but to delve into them and discover what truly matters in our lives. Imagine living each day as your last, fully inhabiting the world in your unique identity. What fears arise from this contemplation, and how can they guide you towards a more fulfilling existence? By acknowledging these fears, you can uncover deeper motivations and live more authentically, carving paths that reflect your true passions and values. Embrace life's ripple. Wise thinkers through the ages have confronted death's enigma to glean insights about life's meaning. Epicurus, the ancient Greek philosopher, believed that fear of death arises from regretting past choices and dreading the future. He argued, however, that death itself holds no terrors if we accept it as the natural end of experience, since there's no suffering to be had post-mortem. The impermanence of life, he suggests, doesn't diminish its significance. Purpose doesn't rely on eternity. The idea of rippling demonstrates how your impact transcends your lifespan. Each action you take, whether in kindness or cruelty, reverberates through time, influencing others long after you're gone. This legacy ripples like waves across generations, ensuring that while death claims your body, your influence continues. Arthur Schopenhauer, the German philosopher, saw value in our awareness of mortality, a distinction from creatures unaware of life's limits. This consciousness provides perspective, allowing you to rise above minor frustrations and consider life's broader scope. A moment in which life's relatively trivial annoyances shrink beneath the weight of our ultimate fate. Nietzsche, another profound German thinker, argued against dismissing life as meaningless. He suggested a thought experiment: if you learned you had to relive your exact life repeatedly, would this prospect bring joy or despair? This scenario serves as a reflection of your life's fulfillment. A meaningful existence, one embraced with gusto, would make eternal repetition a blessing rather than a curse. It reminds us to enact our potential boldly and inhabit our lives fully, foregoing resignation or avoidance. A shared theme among these philosophies is the active role you play in crafting your life's meaning. Actions driven by intention, guided by personal values, create a lasting impact. Small steps become waves of influence, extending your reach beyond your immediate existence. You possess the power to choose the directions those steps take. Engage with life wholeheartedly, and let your legacy ripple through time. Embracing connection. Jack's life was overshadowed by his wife's persistent drug addiction, a secret that isolated him despite his esteemed career and education. It was a stark reminder of how isolating secrets and personal struggles can be, leaving him tormented by the fear of dying alone. There are two stark kinds of loneliness: everyday, which is the natural human yearning for social interaction, and existential, the profound realization of our solitary existence even when surrounded by others. Human connections often blur this existential loneliness, offering meaning and companionship that philosophy alone cannot provide. We are inherently disconnected on a fundamental level, each living in our subjective archives of reality, confronting mortality as an isolated experience. Jack's vivid portrayal of the solitary nature of confronting death underscores this. Even as professional respect surrounded him, his forgiving view towards his wife's addiction barricaded him from the support he needed. This is where empathy and vulnerability step in, bridging the gaps between isolated existences. The essence of human connection holds tremendous power, transcending simple verbal reassurances. It's not just philosophical musings but the shared understanding, mutual recognition between people that transcend individual selves, fostering a sense of belonging and purpose. Engaging with others, nurturing relationships, and embracing community afford us significance beyond individual lifespans. Embracing mortality often enhances our appreciation for life and the connections we've cultivated. As Jack started to overcome his trepidations, He found solace in reaching out to those he had distanced himself from, discovering camaraderie and understanding. Engaging in writing and taking classes reconnected him with humanity, a therapeutic tether that offered renewed hope. He discovered the little things that we can all do to strengthen our bonds with others: volunteering, extending help to future generations, expressing personal insights, truly listening, and affirming others' worth through actions. Realize that sharing parts of yourself not only enriches your own life but also brings you closer to others. Know that you are not alone in your experiences, even when facing life's deepest existential fears. Embrace these connections to tether yourself more firmly to humanity, realizing that such openness can indeed alleviate the solitude that often shadows human existence. Navigating death anxiety. Guiding someone through their fear of mortality requires deep empathy and genuine understanding. Approaching them with judgment or dismissal only heightens their anxiety. Instead, delve into the hidden fears that are often disguised as everyday worries. This journey requires uncovering the deeper issues that the presence of death tends to obscure. Focusing on the present moment becomes a vital strategy. In therapy sessions, emphasize the importance of staying attuned to current thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations. By helping individuals focus on the now, you reduce their tendency to become overwhelmed by the looming unknowns of the future. Dreams can serve as insightful portals into one's psyche, offering clues about their true mental state. By examining these subconscious narratives, you gain a clearer understanding of their inner world. Encourage them to live with intention and purpose, asking what holds true significance in their lives. This question becomes even more poignant as time feels limited. Small actions taken with intent can create a positive ripple effect, ensuring one's impact endures through the lives they touch. While words may not completely bridge the solitude that the specter of death brings, fostering genuine human connections can ease that divide. Support networks and community interactions offer essential spaces for shared understanding and care. The bond between the helper and the person dealing with anxiety should be both professional and human. Balancing distance and empathy requires showing authentic concern and vulnerability, while maintaining professional boundaries. Lastly, it's crucial to confront your own fears of mortality. Knowing your discomfort with discussing death helps in understanding and aiding others in their struggle. Reflecting on these personal challenges illuminates similar patterns in those you aim to support.
As IrvinDYalom masterfully illustrates, facing the specter of death need not be a paralyzing fear, but rather a catalyst for transformation and clarity. Real-life narratives like those of Julia and James reveal how acknowledging death prompts one to reevaluate life choices, prioritize genuine fulfillment over mundane pursuits, and foster deeper relationships. By leaning into this inevitable reality, we stand to gain a clearer perspective on what truly matters, allowing life's fleeting nature to inspire rather than inhibit. Through the wisdom of philosophers and the compassionate guidance for those grappling with mortality, Yalom's insights show that while death's finality is certain, the influence and meaning of our lives ripple far beyond our own experience. Embrace this journey to transform existential fears into an opportunity for a more engaged and intentional life, echoing through the lives of others and across time.